Hello guys, in this video we are going to study about REM and REM sleep or the sleep cycle, right? So sleep, which is a very important topic and also a very important thing in our lives. It is a topic from physiology and a very important thing for our exams also, because a lot of time questions are asked and these are so simple and so easy questions, but people generally make mistakes because they don't actually get to one place where everything is given about sleep and explained nicely, right? So in this video we are going to do that, right? First of all, we are going to study the waves, right? Before that, we have to know what are the components of sleep cycle, right? What are the components of sleep cycle? First of all, for example, I'm teaching you right now, I'm making this video. So while I'm making this video, I am awake, right? While I'm making this video, I am awake, right? While I'm awake and my eyes are open, while I'm awake and my eyes are open, this is the first stage that we go from awake position to a sleep cycle, right? Now from awake, then we get drowsy, right? Just like पढ़ते पढ़ते हम लोग को नींद आ जाता है, just like that, eyes closed, right? Eyes closed position, eyes closed, awake. This is the second one. Now we have properly entered the sleep cycle. Now we have properly entered the sleep cycle. In sleep cycle, first of all, in the whole complete sleep cycle, there are two phases, right? First one is NREM phase and the next one is REM phase. First one is NREM phase and second one is REM phase. NREM phase constitutes 75% and REM phase constitutes only 25% of our sleep, right? When we sleep at night, what happens? When we sleep at night, what actually happens? That we enter sleep, right? We enter sleep. We first develop NREM sleep, then we again develop REM sleep, right? REM sleep. Then again we enter NREM sleep, right? And then we again enter REM sleep. Then we again enter NREM sleep and then REM sleep. Then again NREM sleep and then REM sleep, right? And then our sleep terminates, right? So in this particular bar, you can easily understand that the duration of the REM sleep, duration of REM sleep actually is increasing as we are reaching the end of our sleep, right? See, first one, REM sleep is this much, then second REM is a bit bigger, third REM is more bigger, and the last REM is even more bigger, right? So duration of REM actually increases as we end our sleep, right? In the later part of our sleep, the duration of REM actually increases. Then REM, which means that REM is more during morning, right? More during morning after 4 a.m, more during morning. And NREM is more at night. NREM is more at night. Understood? So NREM is more at night and REM is more during morning, right? So this was the basic thing I actually wanted you to understand, right? So now we go back into what we were discussing earlier. Awake, eyes open, and awake, eyes closed. Then we actually enter the sleep cycle. So in sleep cycle, already told that there are two phases, NREM and REM, right? And first we enter an NREM phase, right? You can see that we enter the NREM phase first. Okay, so NREM, right? Now in NREM, there are further three phases, NREM 1, NREM 2, and NREM 3, right? NREM 1, then we enter NREM 2, then we enter NREM 3. And after we have done our NREM sleep, we enter REM sleep, right? And there is only one REM. REM stands for rapid eye movement and NREM stands for non-rapid eye movement, right? So what actually NREM means? NREM sleep may non-rapid eye movement, right? And REM sleep actually stands for the rapid eye movement. What actually happens in NREM sleep is that in this particular phase of our sleep, in this particular NREM phase of our sleep, there is actually no eye movement at all, right? There is actually no eye movement. Okay, in this phase, the brain is actually sleeping. Brain is sleeping. By this term, I actually mean that brain is not thinking anything at all. Brain is silent, completely silent, right? But the body is actually moving. Your body is not paralyzed when you are in NREM sleep, right? Then in NREM sleep, what happens? That REM means rapid eye movement. In this particular phase, the brain is actually awake, right? It is a very interesting thing, but in REM sleep cycle, it is a part of sleep only. But in this phase, the brain is actually awake, right? And the body is actually paralyzed. Right? Body is paralyzed. Okay. So if I ask you, in which phase of sleep cycle do we see dreams? Of course, to see dreams, your brain has to be awake, right? And when the brain is awake, the eyes are moving, which means that we see dreams in REM sleep, right? We see dreams in REM sleep, right? Another very interesting thing, when does our brain consolidate memories, right? It is a very interesting thing that whatever we study during the day or whatever we do during the day, our actually brain tries to consolidate those tasks, those physical activities, or actually those mental activities we have actually done. The brain consolidates it, right? But in which cycle does it happen? Again, for consolidation of memory, the brain has to be active, right? So that it can retrieve those things you have done the whole day, right? So again, your answer will be REM sleep. Got it? So it is very easy. Now we again come to the sleep cycle part. Now in this particular thing, you actually have to know the waves that are formed, right? Generally questions are asked from this particular topic only, right? That in this phase what waves are seen, or in that phase what waves are seen, or alpha waves are seen in which phase, or beta waves are seen, or theta or delta waves are seen in which sleep cycle phase, right? So first of all, there is a mnemonic. Let me tell you the mnemonic first. See, BATS, bats. Bats drink blood at night, right? Bats drink blood at night. What actually happens at night? We sleep, right? And bats at night drink blood, right? So bats, BATS, drink D, blood B at night, right? So you have to remember this in this way. This is a very easy way. First aid has made this actually mnemonic, and I have told you here it is a very important and very easy mnemonic, right? So in awake phase, beta waves are seen. In awake phase, beta waves are seen, right? When eyes are open. In awake phase, when the eyes are closed, alpha wave is seen. In NREM 1, right? In NREM 1, T for theta waves are seen. In NREM 2, sleep spindle and K complexes are seen. Sleep spindle and K complexes are seen. And in NREM 3, D, right? D for delta waves are seen. And again in REM, we see B for beta, right? So see here, when we are awake, eyes are open, it is beta, and again in REM it is beta. We are sleeping, but the EEG wave patterns are actually same, right? It is such an interesting thing, and I already told that why it is so, right? Because in REM sleep, our brain is actually awake, right? It is just like the brain I am having now while I am teaching you, right? So in REM sleep there is beta waves, and also in awake eyes open stage there is beta waves, right? So this is a way you can easily remember. Okay, so how actually waves are? See, beta waves are those waves which has, it is like this, right? You will see the beta waves like this. And for example, I tell you that how does delta waves look like? The delta waves look like this, right? Low amplitude, low frequency. And in beta waves, high amplitude and high frequency, right? So these waves look like this, right? Got it? So this is everything, but apart from this, I also want to discuss the percentage of these particular phases of sleep cycle. For example, in NREM 1, the NREM 1 phase is actually 5%, constitutes only 5% of the whole sleep cycle. The stage NREM 2 constitutes 45% of the sleep cycle, right? 45% of the sleep cycle. The stage NREM 3 constitutes 25% of the sleep cycle, and REM constitutes only 25% of the sleep cycle in whole, right? So you actually have to remember this, because sometimes question are asked. INICET has once asked this particular question, that what type of EEG pattern is seen in the longest phase of the sleep cycle. So which one of the following is the longest phase of the sleep cycle? It is NREM 2. And what pattern is seen? Sleep spindle and K complexes, right? So it's a very important thing that you actually have to remember these stuffs, right? Especially NREM 2. Another important thing, the pathology is associated with it, right? Pathology is associated with it. See, it is very easy. You have to remember, in NREM 2 there is bruxism. Bruxism means grinding of teeth. What does bruxism means? Grinding of teeth. Grinding of teeth means bruxism, right? You can remember 2 and B in the same way, right? 2 and B, bruxism. What happens in NREM 2 stage? NREM 3. In NREM 3, night terrors happen, right? Night terror and sleepwalking and nocturnal enuresis, right? Night terror, sleepwalking and nocturnal enuresis. Three things: night terror, sleepwalking, nocturnal enuresis. So what is actually sleepwalking? Sleepwalking is nothing but somnambulism, what we call it, right? So sleepwalking means neend mein chalna. Okay, nocturnal enuresis means urinating while sleeping at night, right? Extremely easy. Can you tell me why sleepwalking actually occurs in NREM phase and not in REM phase? It is very easy, because in NREM phase the body is not paralyzed, whereas in REM phase the body is paralyzed. So if the body is paralyzed in REM phase, how can the person walk, while he or she is in REM phase. So sleepwalking can only occur in NREM phase. And which phase mostly? NREM 3. Now coming to REM phase. What are the pathologies or the things that are associated with REM phase? In REM phase, acetylcholine increases, which causes penile erection, and clitoral erection, erection. This is also called something, a word is used, tumescence, right? A tumescence word is used, so you can also expect this particular word in examination, right? Apart from this, what happens? Nightmares, right? So what are nightmares? Nightmares are actually kharab sapna. We call it kharab sapna aana. बहुत बुरा सपना आना, that is called as nightmare. So what is the difference between nightmare and night terror, right? So there must be a difference. See, night terror are almost similar to nightmares, but in nightmare the person will tell that हमें बहुत खराब सपना देखें, and he or she will remember it what that dream was. But in night terror, what will happen? That the person will suddenly wake up from his or her dream, and he or she will not be able to recall anything that what happened or why he or she even woke up, because actually he never dreamt. Okay, he actually thought that I was dreaming and I woke up, suddenly something happened, अचानक से उठ जाएगा, and he will tell I dreamt, right? And when you will ask that what did you dream, he will or she will say that I don't know. Why? Because he actually never dreamt, because he or she is in NREM 3 sleep phase. When you're in NREM sleep, the brain is not active, so you cannot dream, but suddenly your body will get awake, right? So this is called night terror. There will be no recall of what you dreamt, whereas in nightmare you will recall that I fell from a bus, I fell from a cliff, I died, something like that, or someone beat me, that something like that there will be present, right? So this is the whole thing that I wanted you to remember, right? And one more thing, increase oxygen in brain tissue is present in REM sleep, right? Because your brain is thinking. If your brain is thinking, then you will require more oxygen, right? And decreased tone of muscles. Because of decreased tone of muscle, what will happen? Paralyze. Muscle will get paralyzed and your muscles will actually relax. That's why if you don't sleep properly, what will happen? You will never get REM sleep properly, because your REM sleep comes during the last phase, mostly comes during the last phase, right? REM sleep comes more during the last phase of your sleep cycle. If you sleep for 4 hours, what will happen? You will get NREM sleep, but you will never get REM sleep properly. That's why what will happen? That your body will never get paralyzed, and if it will never get paralyzed, then you will have muscle aches and you will feel tired every time if you don't sleep properly during the daytime, right? So this is everything, guys. I have taught much more than what is actually required, right? I have also gave you, but these things are actually very important. These pathologies part, what is present in what. Waves are sometimes asked. Look at the waves properly. You will get many questions from it. These just for fun questions are not important, right? And lastly, the most important part is in the sleep cycle phase. These EEG wave patterns, extremely important. You cannot miss these things, right? EEG patterns. Remember the mnemonic, BATS, bats, drink.